Coalesce podcast, episode 3. My name's Grant,
And I'm Meg.
and we're going to dive into some stuff. We actually found something in the last video. If you go back and watch the very end of the last video, when you're looking at the admin page, you'll see that instead of showing the right answer, the correct answer, it showed the GUID of that. It's like, what in the world's going on? So we actually dug into that a slight little bit offline. We just kind of wondered what was going on. We actually found an issue. And we wanted to jump right on this so that, because I'm sure a few of you probably caught that watching through episode 2, but we wanted to kind of go in and see what's going on. So
yeah, and it looks like I've broken my database.
So yeah,
between now and
we've broken the database. So when you break your database, let's talk about how to do that. Probably the easiest way is just to go ahead and wipe out your database,
especially for local dev.
Especially if you're using local dev, and which brings us to another point of actually maybe seeding some data into our database. So we probably want to do that as well. So yeah. I think for this episode, we're probably going to build out those couple little parts. So what happened was last time, there are issues, and it was probably because we opted to not do the bools on our answers. We would have just done bools on answers. That would have been way simpler. But because we didn't, we have a thing that Coalesce could actually figure out, but Entity Framework couldn't. And so what ended up happening is, let's go in there and take a look. Is this the fixed one, or is this the not fixed one?
This is not fixed.
It's not fixed. So you look at the question, and you'll see in the question.
Oh, but
we don't have any, so I have to create some questions. Probably go and just put in some test data.
This is why you want seed.
This is why you want seed data all the time. Like, just seed some data in there so you don't have to do this. You can treat your database as cattle and not a pet. Not that people don't really like their cows. If we go in and set the correct answer, you can see here that we can select the answer and it shows the name, everything's good. When we get back here, you're going to see the GUID. And so if we go into our database, we're actually going and if we would have looked at our migration a little more carefully, we would have caught this. But we just kind of skimmed over it. Probably shouldn't have assumed we had it right, but it wasn't right. So we'll go in and kind of take a look at that now. So in here, the problem is in the question is that Entity Framework is getting confused between the relationship of the answers collection and the correct answer ID. So there's technically two things here that it just has some ambiguity. Now, I don't know if there's ambiguity really, but Entity Framework can't figure it out.
But Coalesce can.
Coalesce can. So Coalesce knew what to do with this, and so that's why some of it was handled right, but some of it was handled wrong. And so, Meg, what's the answer here?
So the answer is we just have to tell Entity Framework that this is a foreign key. And all we do is just say foreign key, and then Copilot will finish the rest of it for you.
So just name a correct answer. And you can do this in either order. So you can either put that here you can either specify the navigation property from the ID property, or specify the ID property from the navigation property. So down here on line 13, I could have said foreign key name of correct answer item. So either one would have been fine, and that does the stuff. So let's go ahead and seed some data into our database. We have to run a migration. We'll probably just wipe things out again. Do you want to show like how to actually roll back, or like just want to wipe the database out for this time?
I mean, we don't really ever have one migration, so that's
for right now. Like, we'll eventually need more than one migration.
As soon as we get to more than one.
Yeah, then we have to actually start doing it right.
Let's go ahead and write a seeder as well, because if I start this up, we're not going to have any data.
Yeah, then we have to remake the data every time. So yeah, getting a little seeder is a great first start to everything. So let's go ahead and do that. And then you can also potentially use that for if you're doing some unit testing. That will also work if you need it for that.
And then let me first, really quick, go ahead and make my new migration. So
and you're doing this not so we can see it.
I am getting to the folder before I share my screen.
Great, perfect. You drag it on over. Now, what you can do is you can go up to View and choose Terminal Window, and it'll just open up right there in Visual Studio, be in the right folder automatically.
Yeah,
really brilliant thing. So let's start out data, and
again, because we keep doing this, you can call it something else, but
and we call it like trivia question and answer or something like that. Okay, so here we go. It built the migration. Now let's go look at that migration and see if it actually looks right. We're going to take a little bit more of a moment to look at that just to make sure it's good. So answers table. So it has an answer ID, a text, and a question ID. So that would be, it's pointing to the right question. It has the answer. That looks good. The next table.
We have our question ID, our text, and our correct answer.
And our correct answer ID, which points back to that. And then our constraints, there's a primary key.
And then there's our foreign key.
And there's a correct foreign key. So therein it points to the answer. So, okay. correct answer ID looks better. So if we would have just taken a few more moments on that, we would have figured this out the other time, but so this time we're looking. All right, so let's go ahead and build a little cedar. So we can go in and just see what's going on. We'll build it relatively quickly because this is not Coalesce specific. This is more just, hey, let's build out data stuff.
Yeah.
So
down here, your program CS is actually in your web project. So down here.
So, but we're gonna put our cedar up in the data project, right?
Yeah, we could do that. I thought we were gonna go real quick and just write it inside here.
No, let's just build a little class. Yeah, we're gonna do it slightly right. Right, so let's just build a class called, the CD cedar. Make that public, and we'll make a method that takes the DB context, I guess, and then we'll just insert the rows.
Yeah.
And the way I like to call this is I like to make these scripts idempotent, which if you haven't run across that word before, means you can run them as many times as you want and they'll generate the same results. Now, this is not 100% true, but for the most part, we want to be able to run this. And if the data is already there, we don't want it to run. If the data is there, then we want it to see it there. So that way you don't have to worry about, like, every time you run it, you end up with more and more data. So first thing we're gonna do is see if there's any questions. If there aren't any questions, so not any questions, we're going to go ahead and add a question. And we should probably make it object because we're gonna have to reference it.
Yep, that's true.
So whenever you're doing these, you always need to know, hey, you can either add it directly like Meg was doing, or you have to make a question object that you can then reference in our answers. So that's gonna make that a little bit nicer. So it's using the new syntax, the new, and we'll go ahead and put the question in there. So we have that.
I wonder if it will answer this for us.
Oh, that's interesting. So if we put an answer, maybe Copilot's going to know the answer. Actually, we should probably I think we can just insert it right there. Yeah. So I think we can just, no, we can't, because we have to have the right answer, because we have to reference
we'll do
the
it.
question.
Is that right? I mean, that sounds very correct. I actually don't know.
Capital of France.
That sounds correct.
Yeah, I think that's capital, but we don't. So see here, it got it wrong.
Yeah.
It thought that was there, and instead we have to add what the question is that it's a part of. Now, there's two ways we can do this. We can either set the question navigation property, or we can add it to the questions list of answers.
Yeah.
And either way, it will go into the database.
I'm going to do it here just because it will all be kind of.
Yeah, this will be nice.
Okay.
So this is actually the correct answer. So now we can go back and set the question's answer. There we go. So like that. And now we just need some other things, like we should choose some other places in France.
We should, yes. So
like Normandy. And another nice city in France.
I haven't been to France. Now I'm blanking.
Yeah,
we could also just put like, oh, I mean, we could just put like something stupid like England.
Yeah, London. We could do London. But what about when I said nice cities in France, I really meant Nice.
See, you've probably actually been to France.
It's a beautiful place. More people should go.
I've been almost.
And let's just throw like London in there or something like that.
Just to mess with people. Wrong answer 2. Wrong answer 3.
And we can make that, make something London. There we go. Great. And we
might as well need that's nice.
Yeah, correct answer. Nice job. Okay. And now we just add the question to the DB list of questions.
Yeah.
And because we've already referenced all the other things, it's going to be fine. Now, we should probably make this an async method.
Yes, to do our save. And we actually don't even need these because we're not going to be referencing these guys. I'll move it to a new question or new answer. Because since we've linked it up here, SD framework will add that for us.
But do we have to assign it to anything, or is it just okay to just be there nowhere?
Because we've gotten this hooked up. Okay. It should be okay.
Maybe. Never done that before.
We'll see.
Because the object isn't stored anywhere, so it'll lose a reference to it. It'll get garbage collected.
Yeah, so that's why you do want to reference.
We have to assign it to something.
So,
now, if we were to add it to the collection, then we could do that.
The other option too is we could do just to be a little bit neater about it.
Well, but what you can do is just add it to the questions list of answers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So just do.
Yeah, just do question dot and
I-
question dot
I-
answers dot add.
But I was doing it
Right,
to
and
one
then you can remove the question equals question.
There we go. We can show both ways to do
Yep.
this. No, it doesn't hurt to leave that there.
Doesn't hurt. Yeah, totally is okay.
No reason to do both.
Since we already deleted all those really super nicely named variables we had. And the last one. Glad you're a fast typer. Or you'd be super slow.
Okay, and get rid of this guy. There we go. That looks better.
Yep, awesome. And then we just call DB task excellence. Never want to return a void from an async method.
Unless you're writing Mally code.
Certainly horrible code. Oh man.
Okay.
Good times.
I think this is all set up. So we've got our answers, we've got our 4 answers, we've got the correct answer, we've got our question, we're adding the question, and we're
Yeah.
saving.
Now, if we were doing this right, we'd probably write a unit test for it, but we're just trying to get a few things done here. So let's go ahead and add this back in. Let's make sure it seeds in correctly because we can just start the app and we're gonna know if it works.
So we just gotta go find where we are doing our database stuff.
So there is a DB where we're going to actually go ahead and where we're running the migrations, and so we can run it right in the same spot we're running the migrations. So if you're not familiar with this, line 126 is actually creating a service scope. So basically, this is effectively equivalent of making an API call with the context of the dependency injection framework. And so what this does is we can then get a service provider out of that scope, and we can ask the service provider for our database context object. And we can make the static, which probably makes tons of sense. So we don't have to instantiate that. And we can just do seed, and we'll have to await that little guy. Because this whole thing is async anyway. And now I think we have a really nicely seeded database.
Yeah, and we've ran our migration, right?
Yeah, we created a migration. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Did you delete the database?
I did.
Great.
Let's see if we get any errors.
We'll see. Boom. You just have to roll the dice. Like you don't do a build or anything like that. You just roll the dice and see
Yeah,
if it works.
there you go.
Okay, here it is. Boom.
So what is the problem here?
Okay, so it doesn't know how to save. So what I'm wondering is, do we want to save the first object first? Let it go ahead and save that, because it probably doesn't know what order it needs to save stuff. So if we save the question, wonder if that's going to do the trick for us.
Yeah, because it might be getting mad
It
down.
might not be smart enough to figure out how to do all that stuff.
Okay, so we've got our question, we've got our correct answer, and then we set this up. We set all our answers up. Let's try that.
Yep. See what happens. Yeah, sometimes EF's like super smart about how to do stuff, but other
Okay,
times it's
I
not.
think we've just got a circular dependency somewhere. Am I re-referencing something?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if because we did this differently in each case, that it's not enjoying that particular thing.
So another option for this is we can just do list answers wrong answers equals this. And I can move all these guys into here.
But does that fix the problem though?
I think it might help with the problem. Unless I,
A little more, it looks a little nicer when you think about it that way. The syntax is slightly nicer.
and it kind of matches what we were doing above. Oh, well, here's the other problem. Do this.
Oh, we're not even adding it there. Yeah, hey, what are we doing? That was totally
That
messed
actually
up.
was probably the main issue. You probably don't
Yep.
have to do what I just did.
Yeah, that was definitely the issue.
This is a little bit,
Because we actually didn't change anything in that last time. We just
That's
moved
fine.
that.
I only noticed because I was messing down here. Okay, well, you probably didn't need to do the second part. I was just trying something, but
We'll see if
this was
this-
probably. the main issue.
Again, the reason why this is weird is because we have this orientation with it not knowing which one is the correct answer. So we may have to save after line 14 to get that to that correct answer. So let's see if you save after between 14 and 15, whether that's going to fix it for us. Because again, whenever you have these, because there is literally a circular dependency here, and it may just not be able to figure it out. I mean, you may have to save
A couple times.
a couple times. We'll see.
So this last one was an issue with the question ID being null. Which was a bit weird. Did you notice that?
I didn't see the answer.
Okay, let me fire it up again.
It's
It's a different
run down
problem.
there.
We're past the circular dependency.
Oh, it had a different error. I thought it was
Oh,
the
wait.
same one.
Hold on, that's not good. I think it's a first time startup issue here. Let me try that again. So it looks like,
Oh, the reason it went by is because it created the question.
yeah,
It saved the question, which we don't want it to actually save. So in this case, because it failed halfway through, we're kind of broken. So we have to go and dump all that data
yeah,
this particular time. So
let me try that again. Okay, run this. We can also debug this if it.
yeah,
if it
do
needs
it.
to. So this here, we're getting an error that while saving.
Error turtle saving the entities,
The question
interceptions.
ID is null. Which is odd because I thought we were generating question ID.
Oh, but see, these aren't ever attached to the question,
Why not?
right? See, you changed it from the wrong
Oh my
answers.
goodness.
So
See, this is what happens.
yeah, so
Alright, let's just undo this because I think the problem was that line. Well, the line that's moving back now. This is why you never live code.
right. Yeah, it takes some guts to do something like this. So we're just gonna assume that people are charitable and that everybody does make mistakes from time to time, especially when your IQ goes down significantly when you're trying to show somebody else. So
You know, and I feel like I might be getting older because I'm struggling to see the TV from this
well,
far.
now you just know what it's like when you're my age. You look up there and you look here and everything goes sideways.
Oh, okay, there we go. And now if we come over to our answer, we should have a couple of these.
And what I'm afraid of, oh, it does. It has all the things. So they all got in
And then if we come over here, there
our
we go.
question.
That's the correct
It
answer.
shows the correct answer, and it shows that there's 4 answer items, and we are basically set. We are now ready to build up a page. We thought we were ready last time, but we really need to do the seeder and a couple other things, just to make it nice.
Yeah.
So sorry, there's one without a ton of Coalesce stuff. It's more like us fighting with Entity Framework, but the model is probably slightly more complex than we needed it to be. But next time we'll go ahead and build out a single page and like show a question, and let's see if we can take in somebody's answer and show them the right one, and show them if they guess it wrong. So great. Till next time, keep on using Coalesce.